Hi, it's Billy Tarasi from Modern Law Practice. And today I want to talk to you about the question of whether or not you need a managing attorney. A whole lot of people who work with modern law practice do so because they want to take a step back from practicing law. And they'd like to work less, they'd like to work fewer hours, they'd like to have more of a life, they'd like to make more money for all of the time that they're putting into their law firm. And the other thing that happens is attorneys who work very, very hard often burn out, and they want to be able to step away. They want to be able to take a break and take a step back. And so one of the questions we get a lot is, how do we get a managing attorney? Or how do we have someone manage your firm for you so that you can do other things or take a step back? And I have wanted to have a managing attorney within modern law for years and years. Managing people's hard. It is the hardest part, I think, of running a law firm. It is harder for me than finding clients or, office space or managing the finances or billing or accounts receivable. Managing people is the hardest, and it's something that I'm not naturally good at. And so I've tried to outsource it again and again and again. And, about 18 months ago, I started going through a divorce, my own divorce. I'm a divorce attorney, so I do lots and lots of divorces, but my own divorce, and that really necessitated me taking a step back. It wasn't just like I thought to myself, oh, this will be fun, let's get a managing attorney, because I want to go do other things. I hit that critical burnout point where I was doing my clients no good. I simply didn't have the emotional bandwidth to listen to their problems because mine were big. And they took up all of my time and attention, dealing with my own personal moving out and getting a new place and figuring out a parenting plan and all of the things that you have to do when you get a divorce really meant that I really couldn't do a great job for clients. And I had a hard time, being empathetic to the typical employee issues like, so-and-so's not helping enough, or, I just was a little bit burned out. And for a lot of different reasons, people hit burnout. Maybe it's they lose maybe they have a child that's sick, or maybe they have a parent that dies, or they're taking care of a parent. There's a lot of reasons that might necessitate us taking a step back. And so what I want to talk about is managing attorneys. Couple things. It's doable. It's doable. You absolutely can have a managing attorney who manages the day-to-day operations of your firm. With that being said, you are better at every job in your firm than anyone else. You will greet clients better. You will do better consultations. You will do a better job lawyering. Almost all the time, this is true, that no one cares about your firm or your clients as much as you do. And that's simply something that those of us who have employees need to understand. If we were all built to be entrepreneurs, they wouldn't be working for you. If they wanted to run their own firm, they would be. They don't. They're employees. And you can have amazing employees who are wonderful at their job, but they're never going to be you. They're never going to be as good as you. So the question is really, can you afford to have someone be a managing attorney? And so, as you may be able to tell, I have now stepped back into the managing attorney role because I want modern law to grow. I don't want modern law to just maintain. I want modern law to grow 20% year over year, as we have for the last 10 years. And no one else can manage my firm better than I can. And nothing else makes a bigger impact on the bottom line dollars than managing your people. It doesn't matter how many clients you bring in if your people are not taking care of clients the way you want them to. So here's what happened. I had 2 different managing attorneys over this 18-month period, both of them fantastic employees. Love them so much. But what started to happen was our net promoter score started to drop. And I did this other, I think the last vlog I did highlighted that net promoter score, or there's one up that you should look at, where our net promoter score over the last year started to slowly go down. And if you look at the 3-year average, it's really steady, but there was a dip. So that's one thing that happened. And then for the first time, we started to not meet our group revenue goals. And we have a bonus system in Modern Law where everybody bonuses if we hit our group goals. So not hitting those group goals is a big deal for everybody because it makes a difference in people's bottom line. And then when that started happening, the people that were working really hard started to get pretty upset because they're working really hard. They're hitting their numbers, but as a group, we're not. And I tried to influence this whole situation, this whole boat that is this company of Modern Law, by supporting the managing attorneys. But when push comes to shove, my company really needed me to step back in to provide the accountability and direction that only the law firm owner can provide. And that's what I've done. And since doing that, everything's changed. NPS is going up, revenue is going up, people are, more accountable to clients and one another, people simply behave better. And my employees have talked to me about this. They've said, look, you can put other people in charge, but it's like putting a babysitter in charge. And do the children ever do homework as well for the babysitters as they will for you? Probably not, unless maybe you have a tutor. And that brings me to point 2. I know this is going to end up being a long vlog, but you don't have to have a managing attorney. You can promote people within the firm to their level of greatness. I said that I could do every job better than any employee. That's really not true when it comes to paralegals. Paralegals are more organized than I am and more detail-oriented than I am, and they can do their jobs better. And there are things that each of your employees does better than you do. And so really, what does the best managing owner do? What does the best owner do? They promote people to their area of greatness. And what you can't do is you can't delegate to someone your full authority. You can give, so I have people in my office who are fantastic at writing and developing policies and procedures, and they are in charge of that. I have people in my office who are great at managing parties and the fun committee and recognizing people's birthdays, and they're in charge of that. You can find things that bring people joy that people are great at, and you can give them that piece. You don't have to keep it all, but what you do have to do is you have to keep leadership. You have to keep direction. And if you're at a point like I was where you can't because your kid's sick or your parent died or you're going through a personal crisis like a divorce or a mental health issue or some other addiction and you can't do it, then by all means, hand over the reins. But understand that when you get to a point where you want to grow again, where you want to dive back into your firm, no one is going to do as good a job as you are. So let me know, what do you think? What are your stories with managing attorneys? How do you support them? How can you promote your people to the level of their greatness, but not give away what is always needs to be yours?